Welcome back to the Tiger Solar Power Podcast, where we take a look at the latest stories shaping the solar energy landscape across Adelaide and the rest of Australia. It's been a busy month, from record-breaking output to new funding and some growing pains in supply chains. So let's dive into what's been happening between September 27th and October 27th, 2025. We'll start with the big picture. Australia's solar generation has had an incredible spring surge. In September alone, our combined solar PV output jumped by 18%, reaching a record-breaking 3,933 gigawatt-hours. That's one of the strongest early spring performances ever recorded. The bump comes from a mix of sunny conditions, more rooftop installations across suburbs, and an increasing number of large-scale farms feeding into the grid. It's a reminder that solar is now one of the real workhorses of Australia's energy mix. Every rooftop system and every new project adds up, making us less dependent on coal and gas and setting the stage for a cleaner grid heading into summer. Now, speaking of sunny gains, Adelaide is once again leading the nation in solar performance. But this time, it's about how quickly systems pay themselves off. For a standard 6.6 kilowatt solar setup paired with a 12 kilowatt-hour battery, Adelaide residents can expect a payback period of just 5 years and 6 months. That's the fastest in Australia. The reason? South Australians pay some of the highest electricity rates in the country, so the savings add up quickly. Combine that with generous state incentives, high solar uptake, and more efficient battery systems, and you've got a perfect storm for quick returns. It's a big motivator for homeowners who've been on the fence, because the numbers are starting to make more sense than ever. And the push for even better solar technology isn't slowing down. Earlier this month, on September 4th, the Australian Renewable Energy Agency, better known as ARENA, launched the second round of funding under its billion-dollar Solar Sunshot program. This round alone brings $150 million to the table, focusing on reducing the cost of solar through research and development in both manufacturing and deployment. The goal is to make solar cheaper, more efficient, and more Australian-made. Several projects based in or linked to South Australia are expected to benefit, helping strengthen local supply chains and drive innovation in the renewable sector. It's a great sign that the government is doubling down on long-term solar leadership, not just installation targets. Of course, all those new systems and technologies are only as good as the companies installing them, and South Australians have plenty of options. SolarQuotes released its annual rankings on September 30th, shining a light on the top-rated solar installers across the state. These rankings are based on verified customer reviews, covering things like installation quality, communication, and after-sales support. It's especially valuable right now, with demand at an all-time high and a flood of new companies entering the market. For homeowners in Adelaide looking to go solar, that list is a great place to start to find trustworthy installers and make sure the job's done right. And while small-scale installations are booming, big solar continues to make headlines too. South Australia's 6th utility-scale solar farm, located in Tailem Bend, officially went live this month. The project marks another milestone in the state's renewable journey, adding more clean capacity to the grid and doing so ahead of schedule. Developers managed to overcome some pretty challenging supply chain hurdles to bring it online. Tailem Bend now joins the ranks of other major sites helping the state maintain its renewable energy dominance. South Australia has already been recognized globally for running entirely on renewable power for extended periods, and projects like this keep that momentum going. Zooming out again to the national level, there's even more good news on the horizon. The Clean Energy Council has forecasted that Australia is on track to exceed its 2030 rooftop solar targets by more than 3%. They're predicting we'll hit around 37.2 gigawatts of rooftop capacity by the middle of the decade. That's an extraordinary figure, considering how ambitious the original goals were. South Australia remains the standout leader per capita, with suburbs around Adelaide boasting some of the highest solar penetration rates in the country. Falling installation costs, smarter financing, and ongoing rebates are all helping make solar accessible to more Australians than ever before. But with growth comes a few headaches too. The surge in demand has led to some noticeable delays in getting panels and batteries into the country. Supply bottlenecks, partly from shipping congestion and partly from manufacturing constraints, are starting to slow down installations nationwide. Some customers are being told to expect longer wait times for delivery or connection. It's a reminder that Australia's solar appetite is massive, and our import systems are still catching up. There's also growing discussion around how to make solar more accessible for renters and apartment dwellers, groups that have traditionally been left out of the rooftop revolution. Some experts are calling for new rebates or shared solar programs to bridge that gap, especially in dense city areas like Inner Adelaide. And finally, a story that might not sound exciting at first, but it's one that could have a big impact in the years ahead. A report released on September 25th warned that Australia's patchwork of standards for solar systems, home batteries, and electric vehicle chargers is becoming a real obstacle. The issue is that each state and territory, and sometimes even individual energy networks, can have slightly different rules or connection standards. That creates confusion for installers and slows down the rollout of smart, interconnected homes. Industry experts are now pushing for a national overhaul, with consistent, unified standards that would make it easier for households to integrate solar, storage, and EV charging into one seamless system. For a high adoption state like South Australia, it's an especially important conversation, because this is where the future of smart energy living is really taking shape. So as we wrap up this month's roundup, a few clear themes are emerging. Solar energy in Australia, and particularly here in Adelaide, is growing faster, smarter, and more interconnected than ever before. We're seeing record generation, faster payback periods, better technology, and more ambitious targets. But we're also learning that keeping up with success has its own challenges, whether that's supply chains, system standards, or making sure everyone can take part in the solar movement. It's an exciting time to be following renewable energy, and if the last month is anything to go by, the next one's going to be just as bright. Thanks for listening to Tiger Solar Power Podcast. I'm your host, and we'll catch you next month with another look at how solar is shaping Australia's clean energy future.